Great oracle. I have been doing a lot of reading based on our conversations. I see what an important role our Constitution played in our nation's formation. More importantly, I now see what an important role it still plays in our nation. That goes for the Declaration of Independence as well. I also now see that this country was indeed founded by Christians who structured it to be governed in accordance with Christian principles to the degree that they did not think that it would or even could function any other way. And that led me to a troublesome question. Namely, what if a group of citizens put enough pressure on our representatives to cause them to depart from such principles and, in fact, begin to govern in ways contrary to Christian principles?
Well, then it would be up to their fellow citizens to straighten things out. As we speak, there are groups working toward the removal of Christian principles as the standard for interpreting our laws and for directing our government. Furthermore, they're being quite effective, because many who dismiss their rantings as rubbish don't even make their voices heard. In fact, they don't even express themselves at the polls. As we speak, apathy is threatening this nation from within. If the Tytler cycle is correct, then the shift we're seeing to entitlement is a progression from apathy to dependency, which, if not thwarted, would return us to bondage.
Well, if citizens didn't take these shifts seriously enough, then what?
Simply put, America will unravel at the seams.
But that's not evolution, that's devolution or something. Why wouldn't it just evolve to a higher, better plane?
It can, so long as it evolves within the parameters set by Christian morality. That is what protects us from the Tytler and the Marxist cycles. However, at this late stage, the only way to break the cycle is to pray for God's gracious intervention. Remember what our second president, John Adams, said. We have no government, armed with power, capable of contending with human passions, unbridled by morality and religion. Our Constitution was made only for a moral and religious people. It is wholly inadequate to the government of any other. So in other words, John Adams did not intend for the government he helped define and implement to be flexible enough to adapt to the abandonment of our guiding principles.
With all due respect, John Adams was just one man.
Exactly. But he was one of many who agreed on this issue. Remember what Franklin the Deist said. We have been assured, sir, in the sacred writings, that except the Lord build the house, they labor in vain that build it. I firmly believe this, and I also believe that without his concurring aid, we shall succeed in this political building no better than the builders of Babel. We shall be divided by our partial local interests. Our projects will be confounded, and we ourselves shall become a reproach and byword down to future ages.
Wow. You're saying that our founders deliberately built a government that could not change certain basic principles without self-destructing.
That'd be one way of putting it. At the close of the Constitutional Convention of 1787, Ben Franklin was leaving Independence Hall when a lady approached him and asked, "Well, doctor, what have we got, a republic or a monarchy?" To which he replied, "A republic, if you can keep it."
Oh my. That means that if enough citizens put enough pressure on enough governmental officials to cause a major departure from such principles, and in fact begin to govern in ways contrary to Christian principles,
the system will collapse. Yes, that is exactly what it means.
But we're the United States. We can't just collapse.
Oh, really? Well, tell me, citizen, which direction is the Babylonian Empire? Take me to the Persian Empire, or the Greek Empire, or even the Roman Empire. Need I go on?
But those were all very different from us. Uh-oh. I think I just answered my own concern. The most important difference was that they didn't use Christian values to limit their governments. Our founders were counting on us to continue that distinction, thereby gaining God's favor and intervention on our behalf. Like circumventing those cycles or the need for revolution.
Exactly. If all our citizens were to see that and get off their duffs and vote some strategic course changes, we would prosper and become more powerful again instead of becoming weaker by the day, prospering godless nations with hard-earned American tax dollars.
Wow. I've got to do some last-minute research. I want to make sure who and what I'm voting for. Oh, I can't thank you enough for all your help. I'll see you after the election.